My name is Ashley Gibbons. I'm 25 years old, and I am a heroin addict. I was 13 when I first picked up a drug. I started drinking and smoking, the usual. I thought it was fun, like we all do. I didn't think that any of that would bring me to where I'm at right now. At the age of 16, I started doing other things, but not to the point where they were bad. 18 years old, I started doing cocaine, Xanax, still smoking weed, drinking. I didn't get into the bad drugs until I was, you know, older. I ruined my life. I was 19 when I had my daughter. 19 when I was still doing cocaine and Xanax and everything you could possibly think of at the time. When I had my daughter, I stopped doing all kinds of drugs. I mean, I was still smoking weed and drinking, but when I was 21, I was legal to drink. And then I met heroin. I broke up with my daughter's father because he was doing it. I didn't think that me being with him was going to work. So I did the one thing that I thought would be alright. I left him. 6 months after that, I met someone else who was doing it. And I thought that everything was going to be okay. But it wasn't. It just began. I snorted my first bag at 21 years old. A month after I snorted it, I was shooting up in my veins. I didn't think that I had a problem at all. I thought it was just for fun. It really was. It was only supposed to be fun. But it wasn't at all. It ruined my life. When my grandfather died, I got worse. I wanted to numb the pain. I didn't want to feel heartache anymore. And I thought that would have worked. But it didn't. It just made things worse. I started getting into trouble legally. I got pulled over in 2013 with me, my boyfriend at the time, and two other friends. We had heroin on us. We got arrested, and that was my first drug charge. 2 weeks after that, I got another drug charge. My baby dad overdosed in my arms and was almost dead. I tried going to rehab in 2012, but it didn't work. I managed to stay clean for 2 months, but then my boyfriend came back into my life, and I started getting high again. And at that point, I didn't stop. 2012 up until recently, really, I just lost myself. I went into a coma, pretty much. January 30th, 2014, I got locked up. I was in jail for 2 months. I got out and I relapsed. A week after I relapsed, I did it again. April 4th, 2014, I overdosed, and my mother found me in the bathtub, pretty much dead. If she didn't have the Narcan, I probably wouldn't be here today telling this story. But even after dying, 2 months after that, being clean, I did it again. I went on 5-day binge, just doing it. Tried not to get sick, and it worked for a while. Even got on the Vivital shot, which was an opiate blocker, and I still tried getting high. July 26th, 2014, I got drugs. I stole money from my mother and went to go get dope after being clean for a month. My mother found my bags and my needles and called my probation officer. I had to find a rehab or I was going to go back to jail. I stayed clean for a month, got my last drug test before I went to rehab, and then I relapsed a week before I had to go into rehab. August 27th, I went into rehab in New Hope, and I was only just going to go to the rehab, but when I was there, I decided that I should go to a halfway house. So I ended up going to a halfway house September 9th to the Epiphany House. I stayed there for 3 months, and I made a home there. It was my home. I managed to stay clean. I got interviewed when I was there at my job that I had because my mother saved my life. And, it's a miracle that I'm still alive, really. And, the jug is always in my mind. It's always in my head still to this day. I'm going to be 4 months clean, and I never made it this far. My entire life was getting high, even before heroin. I mean, this is the longest time I've been off of heroin, but the longest I've been off of anything and everything. My story is a lot more severe, and I don't think I'm ready to yet just say everything. I just skipped through the bad parts and just said how it all began, but this is how it began. This is my story. And I just want everyone out there to know that I died. I went to rehab. I went to jail. You only want to get better if you want to get better. There's no way you can ever get better if you don't want it. And to survive is to get better. My story, what I want everyone to know, is that this drug is killing everybody, and we still think that it's okay. But it's not. It's not okay. It never will be. People who don't want to get help will never get better. And those who do get better and continue to keep messing up, the only way to save them is to die. And that's very sad. But I don't want to go backwards anymore. I want to go forward with my life. I want to be there for myself, my daughter, my mother, my family, my friends. It means a lot to me to keep going, and I know I'm stronger. Because God only gives us the toughest battle, He gives us the toughest battles to the strongest soldiers. I know I said that wrong, so it probably sounds a little silly, but everything will be okay in the end. Because if it's not okay, it's not the end. Life is so much better clean than it is getting high. Goodbye.